Hello my people, welcome back to this YouTube channel. So today we are going to discuss the difference between a breaker block and a mitigation block. This is this question was most asked on my on a comment on the comments below. So today I'm going to show you how to identify the difference between this mitigation block and a breaker block, and I will show you also in a real chart. So what's a breaker block? These are just the definitions of breaker block and mitigation blocks. Make sure that you have written it down so that you can use it. You can use it as a reference, yeah, later. So breaker blocks. In price action trading, a breaker block is a type of order block that has been broken by price, and it used as a reversal zone. It represents a failed demand or supply that gets retraced from the opposite direction. I hope that you understand this because there's a video that I made about all about a breaker block. This is a definition of a mitigation block. A mitigation block is an area where smart money or institutions return to mitigate or close previous position. It usually happen after previous um usually after impulsive move where price come back to fill the positions. So let me just show you the difference between those. We shall start with the hmm, that's a breaker block. I know what I did, but I'm going to make this is I'm supposed to do this like this, and this is a mitigation block. Let me write it down so that a person can see. This is a breaker block, breaker block, and this is a mitigation block. Yeah, the difference between a breaker block and a mitigation block, there's in a breaker block there's sweep of liquidity above that high, and in in a mitigation block there's no sweep of liquidity above that. There's no sweep of liquidity which forms a swing low. Yeah, so this is a breaker block. Any breaker block can either be a monthly breaker block, any. And this is a mitigation block. Yeah, in a mitigation block, there's no sweep of liquidity above that high, and you, when identifying a breaker block, the sweep of liquidity above this high. That's the simplest difference between a breaker block and a mitigation block. Let me show you example on this chart. As you can see here, this is just example of a breaker block. This point is the breaker block. So the market must come and mitigate that. Not a breaker block, a mitigation block, sorry. The market came that point your stop loss below that, your take profit above any nearest. Now your take profit above here, which is this is a sell side liquidity, buy side liquidity pool. That's a buy side liquidity pool where your target is where, yeah, this is a risk to reward of 1 to 4. And the market did massively. That's a mitigation block. There's no sweep of liquidity below here. You can see there's no sweep of liquidity here. And let me see if I can get an example of this. Is just an example of this is an example of a breaker. Yeah, let me. This is the best example of it. The market was recently on this side. It took liquidity, came, retraced, went down. It's somehow very choppy line, but I think you can observe it. There's a sweep of liquidity above here. There's a sweep of liquidity above there, and we form our breaker block here, the last sell candle. After taking this liquidity above here, which confirms that the market has changed from this order block, it has not, this order block has been broken, so we will wait for it to be broken, then a retracement, then we sell. As you, this is where our short was supposed to be, our stop loss above there, and our take profit below at least 1 to 3 is enough.